Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 21st. Here's what we're working on. A Canadian woman was killed in a shooting at a Mexican tourist site.
I'm Simone Gavers reporting live at Hamilton's John C. Munro International Airport with a look at some of the highlights of the airport's 2025 year in review.
Shot clock down to 6. Mitchell, the three, good.
And the Raptors trail their NBA playoff series as they come back to Toronto.
Good Tuesday morning, another chilly start to the workday, and I'm hoping this is winter's last hurrah. Is this it?
We keep saying that.
Yeah.
I was hoping that as well. You know, hopefully these are the last minus columns we'll be waking up to. Because, yeah, we're in the minus column again today, like yesterday. But today, we're sitting at -2, and the sky is fairly clear, and we're going to have sunshine for the day. But the good news for today is it's going to be milder. Yay! We got to 5 degrees yesterday. Today, we should hit 12, so a lot better today. That's around seasonal for this time of year. We should have the sky, as I said, clear right now. We should have lots of sunshine today. There is a slim chance of a shower a little later on this afternoon. It's only about a 30% chance, but otherwise sunny and 12 for the day today. Just a little bit of cloud cover. Tomorrow and Thursday, beautiful, and we'll talk about that coming up. Traffic, 403 Waterdown Road. Looking good. Nothing to see right there. All doing fine around the Hamilton area at the moment. We'll check some MTO traffic cameras. Centennial Parkway, so Toronto-bound lanes away from us coming out of Stony Creek, doing okay. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, all the way through third line. Nothing happening on the road so far this morning. We'll look at the traffic details coming up in a few minutes, and of course the forecast. But right now, the news.
Thank you, Brian. Mexican authorities say a 29-year-old Canadian woman was killed after a man opened fire at a popular tourist site. It happened yesterday at the Teotihuacan Pyramids, about 50 kilometers from Mexico City. Officials say an armed man standing atop one of the pyramids began shooting at tourists. A Canadian tourist is also among the other 13 people injured during the incident. The identity of the woman killed has not been confirmed by Canadian officials. Mexican security officials say the gunman died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They say 7 of the injured people were wounded by gunshots, while they did not disclose how the others were injured.
Toronto police are investigating the death of a baby found unresponsive in the back of a vehicle. They aren't saying much about the case because they say the investigation is in its early stages. Emergency crews were called to the area of Queen Street East and Pape Avenue in Toronto yesterday. The baby was rushed to hospital by ambulance and treated by doctors, but later died. The children's parents were at the hospital.
At an inquest into the death of Heather Winterstein, her family is seeking a homicide ruling after she died at St. Catharines Hospital 4 years ago. Lawyers representing the Winterstein family say the 24-year-old Indigenous woman was vulnerable and looking for help, but instead encountered bias within the healthcare system. Winterstein went to hospital with severe back pain on December 9th, 2020. She was sent home and told to take Tylenol, but returned the next day and waited more than 2.5 hours before being seen. She later collapsed and died from a sepsis infection. The lawyer representing the doctor argued a thorough assessment was carried out and there were no signs of sepsis at the time. The defense maintains her death was the result of bacteria and natural causes. The inquest continues today with the coroner's closing statement expected, along with a number of proposed recommendations, many aimed at improving care for Indigenous patients.
The Ontario government plans to pass its omnibus budget bill, skipping public hearings. The usual process sees bills go to committee where affected groups and members of the public have a chance to weigh in. And committee members from the government and opposition can propose and debate changes. Government House Leader Steve Clark is proposing to bypass this process for a budget bill that merges the province's conservation area, caps resale ticket prices, and changes freedom of information laws. And that includes a retroactive clampdown on access to Premier Doug Ford's cell phone records. Interim Liberal leader John Fraser says the move is hypocritical for a government that's demanding more accountability from elected school trustees.
Premier Ford is explaining his decision to reverse course on the purchase of a private jet. Ford says his cell phone was flooded with complaints over the weekend after the province confirmed it had bought a pre-owned $29 million jet for travel across Ontario, Canada, and the United States. The move drew criticism from across the political spectrum, with opposition parties dubbing the aircraft the gravy plane.
I heard loud and clear from the people that this was not the time to purchase a plane. Yes, am I going to use it? 100%. But it was for multiple ministries.
Ford also claims a double standard is being applied, noting that Quebec and the federal government also own planes for travel. Ford says he has directed staff to sell the aircraft for the same price the province paid.
Speaking of travel, Hamilton's John C. Munro International Airport's yearly report is out. The 2025 edition celebrates a year of enhancements and expanded travel destinations, continuing to make it a crucial hub in the city. Simone Gavros joins us live at John C. Munro with more.
Well, Annette, some of those enhancements you'll see right away when you arrive at the airport. There was around $22 million that was invested in just those enhancements on the infrastructure at the airport last year, and that includes the exterior that you see right behind me, landscaping, as well as a new canopy that just welcomes guests over to the airport here in Hamilton. Speaking of which, last year, Hamilton International Airport saw nearly 330,000 passengers traveling to and from the airport. There were 2 passenger bridges that were introduced to enhance the boarding experience, and the airport also facilitated 750 million kilograms of landed cargo. The airport is critical to Canada's supply chain, operating as the country's largest domestic overnight express cargo location. Although the 750 million kilograms of cargo was slightly lower than the 754 million that was moved the year prior, the airport says the levels of activity signal a period of market stabilization, especially during a year of labor disruptions, changing geopolitical dynamics, and trade policies. I've also reached out to the airport this morning just to get more details about this report and year in review that came out earlier this week, and also any details about any updates that they might have when it comes to those jet fuel prices that we've been seeing and if it's affecting any flights here. For now, Annette, back over to you.
Hey, thanks very much. Now, oil and gas experts say it's unlikely fuel prices will fall as quickly as they've climbed. Experts say air freight is already being impacted, with airlines in Canada raising fares by 15 to 20%. The latest figures from Asia and Europe show oil prices reaching as high as $185 a barrel. The trucking industry is also feeling the strain as higher fuel costs drive up expenses.
In our situation, fuel has increased by 50% since the start of the calendar year. So that is something that is quite challenging, and we have to try and approach our customers. We're at the point now where we have to try and approach our customers, say, we need some help here.
That's Steve Foxcroft of Fluke Transportation. He says even running the cost of refrigerated trailers has doubled, and those added expenses will ultimately be passed on to consumers. Well, a Hamilton mountain access that cuts through the Niagara Escarpment is about to close for lengthy repairs. The Sherman Cut is expected to be closed next Monday, April 27th until September. The cut connects Crockett Street near Juravinsky Hospital on the mountain to the Sherman access. City of Hamilton road crews will be installing new retaining walls, improving drainage, and resurfacing the road itself. The east and west legs of the Sherman access will be used as a detour, and other mountain accesses, the Jollycut, Claremont, and Kenilworth accesses will remain open. Heading to the falls this summer, Niagara Parks has launched a new pass for the season with 3 options for savings. Each builds on the theme Canada, powered by tourism, encouraging people to explore new experiences closer to home. They're available now on the Niagara Parks websites with discounts up to 52% compared to buying tickets individually. All of the Niagara Falls passes include at least 2 days of unlimited WeGo transit. The passes are valid until the 1st of November.
The Raptors played better in Game 2 of their first-round NBA playoff series against Cleveland, but they're in a hole as the series shifts to Toronto.
Shot clock down to 6. Mitchell, the 3, good.
Donovan Mitchell scored a game-high 30 points to lead the Cavaliers to a 115-105 win over the Raps, giving Cleveland a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 series. James Harden added 28 points, and Evan Mobley had 25 and 8 rebounds for the Cavs, who've now beaten Toronto in 12 straight playoff games dating back to 2016. And that ties the NBA postseason record for consecutive wins against an opponent.
I thought that they had the right energy, right focus. I thought the fight was there. I'm really proud of our guys in the fight there. I really think it came down to turnovers. Turnovers really costed us. They scored 22 points out of that.
Scotty Barnes led Toronto with a playoff career-high 26 points, but Brandon Ingram was held to just 7 points. Toronto will host Game 3 on Thursday night. To the Stanley Cup playoffs, in Game 2 between Carolina and Ottawa went the distance and then some.
Martin up to the point. Miller has got it. Miller hands it off. Ehlers in front. Martin scores!
Jordan Martinook scored in double overtime to give the Hurricanes a 3-2 win over the Senators and a 2-0 series lead. And it was a bit of redemption for Martinook, who was stopped on a penalty shot in the first overtime. It was the NHL's first playoff OT penalty shot attempt since 2020. Game 3 goes Thursday in Ottawa.
Anaheim close-up shot. Now put Colson. Jimmy in front, score! Kasperi Kapanen! Edmonton regains the lead!
Kasperi Kapanen scored his second goal of the game with 1:54 left in the third period as the Oilers beat Anaheim 4-3 in the opener of their series. Jason Dickinson also scored twice for the Oilers, who trailed 3-2 entering the third. Oilers star Leon Draisaitl returned to the ice after missing the final 14 regular season games with an injury, and he had 2 assists. Jordan Gignac scored in overtime to give the Stony Creek Tigers a 3-2 win over the Wentworth Griffins at the Allen Cup Challenge in Newfoundland. The Tigers have won both of their games and will have a chance to clinch a spot in the final with a win tomorrow. Wentworth has lost both outings and will play in the 4v5 game tomorrow. Dylan Cease put on a masterclass on the mound and picked up his first win as a Blue Jay. The Jays pitcher struck out 12 batters in 5 innings and allowed just 2 runs in Toronto's 5-2 victory over the Angels. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had 3 hits, including a 2-run homer, as Toronto picked up their second straight win. The Jays snapped a 2-2 tie with runs in the 6th, 7th, and 9th innings to improve to 9-13. About 30,000 runners from more than 100 countries participated in Monday's 130th Boston Marathon. The race saw repeat champions from Kenya in both the men's and women's divisions. John Courier set a new course record en route to winning the men's title with an unofficial time of 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds. Sharon Lucchetti finished first in the women's event with an unofficial time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, 51 seconds. They each won $150,000. Wheelchair racers Marcel Hoog claimed his 9th victory, and Eden Rainbow Cooper secured her 2nd win.
There it is. Bingo. 13 minutes after 6 o'clock. Well done, Rick. All right, let's get you into this Tuesday morning, 21st of April already. Light in the sky, getting earlier all the time, sunrise. No problems on the 403 at Waterdown Road area. Doing fine all the way around Hamilton at the moment, so nothing on the roads locally. Let's check some MTO traffic cameras into St. Catharines at the QEW Niagara. Nothing to see there. Very light. Centennial Parkway hasn't changed. East of Brant looks good. Same with east of Royal Windsor, yep, all the way through Dixie. No problems on the highways. All right, another chilly morning, but hopefully we'll start to mild up overnight because we got more mild air starting to push in. You'll feel that later today, but right now it's cool. At least our temperatures come up this hour. We're now -1, wind chill about -5. The winds are fairly light. The sky at the moment is mostly cloudy. We will see some sunshine today. It'll be a mix of sun and clouds, and there's that slim chance of a shower later on this afternoon, and we'll have a bit of a south wind. But look at that temperature. Oh, so much better. We should hit 12 degrees for the day today, and that's all as that ridge of high gives us the sunshine, but it also gives us a bit more of a southerly wind and a southerly flow, and that's what's going to help our temperatures up over the next, well, actually, number of days. It's going to continue to get milder as we head through toward the weekend. Today's temperatures Oh, so much better than yesterday. Anywhere from 8 to 10 for Niagara, 12, 11 to 14 degrees for the rest of us. Slim chance, as I mentioned, of a shower later this afternoon. Tonight, once again, the skies will clear, but at least we won't dip into the minus column. Anywhere from 2, 4 to 5 degrees. 3 for Halton Peel into Toronto. And then tomorrow, oh, so much better. Earth Day tomorrow. 11 for Niagara Falls, 15 for St. Catharines, but 16 to 19 for the rest of the Horseshoe, and a lovely sunny day. Maybe a bit of cloud cover, but it looks beautiful for Earth Day tomorrow. So out the door, 21st of April. It is mostly cloudy at the moment, and the temperature just into the minus column. We're sitting at -1, wind chill about -5. So, long-range forecast, we'll check that coming up. Annette, right.
Thanks, Brian. Coming up after the break, Emily is going to join us with a preview of what's to come in CHCH. And in business news, starting next month, consumers across Canada can start buying alcohol directly from producers. 6:17 on your Tuesday morning. Good morning, Emily Vukovic. What is coming up in CHCH this morning?
Oh, good morning, guys. The singer Lana Del Rey has entered the James Bond universe.
Oh, that makes sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, very much.
I agree. Justin Bieber closed out Coachella with a cryptic message, possibly teasing an upcoming tour.
What do you know?
What do you know? Or what does it mean? Is it what does it mean? Or it's what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, does it? Okay, and Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock returned for Practical Magic 2 28 years after the original, and I don't know what they have done to the movie set or to their faces, but they look exactly the same.
It's so true.
Exactly the same. So we'll take a deep dive into that.
Okay. Thanks, Emily. To business news we go. On the markets, the Canadian dollar is down slightly this morning to 73.21 cents U.S. Gold is down $27 U.S. an ounce. Oil is down 80 cents to $86.58 U.S. a barrel. Midday European trading, London and Frankfurt are marginally ahead this hour.
Asian markets all closed ahead today, with Tokyo leading the way. At Monday's close, the TSX finished up slightly, while the Dow and Nasdaq lost a bit of ground.
The federal government says Ontario and all other provinces are on track to allow consumers to buy Canadian alcohol directly from producers by next month. All 10 provinces and the Yukon signed an agreement last year to allow consumers to order Canadian wine, spirits, beer, and other alcoholic beverages directly from producers. A spokesperson for the Privy Council office says provinces and territories are continuing to work toward the May deadline. Ontario and Nova Scotia signed a deal last month to allow people to buy alcohol from producers in either province.
Air Canada is suspending flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK Airport starting the 1st of June. It is the most popular of 6 routes being suspended this summer. Air Canada says jet fuel prices have doubled since the start of the conflict in Iran, and some routes are no longer profitable. Air Canada plans to resume the routes to JFK in October. It says impacted customers will be contacted with alternative options. The airline will continue to fly to New York, but into LaGuardia and Newark instead.
The federal government has announced what it says is an incremental increase in direct flights from Canada to China. Transport Minister Stephen McKinnon says the move is in response to Prime Minister Mark Carney's outreach to Beijing in January. Canadian and Chinese airlines will be allowed to boost the number of direct passenger flights and conduct up to 20 cargo flights a week. Ottawa says this should help promote trade diversification and tourism as Canada looks to increase exports to China by 50% by the year 2030.
Apple CEO Tim Cook is retiring. He's credited with leading Apple to become a $4 trillion company after taking over for Steve Jobs in 2011. Cook says it's been the greatest privilege of his life to lead such an extraordinary company. He helped Apple make Apple a significant player beyond its iconic PC products into areas including entertainment and health. Apple's Senior Vice President of Hardware Engineering, John Turnus, will take over as CEO in September. Cook will move into the role of Executive Chair of Apple's Board of Directors.
All right, quick break right now. Brian's going to be back with your traffic update and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
6:24, good morning. We are about 4 minutes to sunrise already here this morning. Checking traffic, QEW Ontario Street, that's a St. Catharines camera. That shows you there's nothing going on there. Different story, top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, already getting slow as you head over the top and down toward North Shore Boulevard. Third line looks good, nothing at Lorne Park, dipping into the 403 at Dundas Street. No problems on the roads right now. Temperatures right now just into the minus column for Hamilton, -1 there, -2 for Grimsby, 0 Mississauga, +2 for Toronto. So seasonal temperatures for today are 13 for a daytime high, 3 for an overnight low, sun times and records right there for the day today. And for school today, we should be +3 for the first bell, fair bit of sunshine, slim chance of a shower for later on this afternoon. We should hit 12 degrees. Had this shot sent this morning from Jack and Jill. Seriously, Jack and Jill from Fort Erie sent yeah, and that's a bird feeder. But you can see there are tree swallows on the bird feeder there. They said their tree swallows are back. A lot of we track our barn swallows. The barn swallows come back every year about the same time, usually around 21st, 22nd of April. This year they came back a week early, so that bodes well for spring. Woohoo! They've been here for a while. So let's have a check and see as we get through the week. Today, 12 degrees, chance of a shower, slim chance. 4 degrees tonight and clear. 16 tomorrow and sunshine for Earth Day. And look at that for Thursday. Thursday, 18 degrees and sunshine, so it gets better. Chance of a shower Friday and Saturday. Temperature comes down a bit. 13 for Sunday, 10 for Monday. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Thanks, Brian. A pint-sized piano prodigy from Maryland is heading to the big time. None other than Carnegie Hall.
4-year-old Michael Gurgis is set to become the youngest pianist to play at the famous Manhattan venue. He started playing piano only last September.
What?
And since then has earned dozens of first-place awards. His biggest award, the top honor at an international music competition. He practices 3 days a week for about 30 to 45 minutes at a time.
And he's got a great hat.
Yes.
Wow. He started in September?
And only practices 3 days a week.
And he's going to Carnegie Hall?
Yeah. Well, practice.
Well, I guess so.
That's how you get to Carnegie Hall.
Yeah. I think it might be because of his hat as well.
Could be.
I like his little booster seat as well,
Yeah.
to get him up to par on the ivory keys.
Wait till he can touch the pedals.
Yeah, way to go. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live.